가게야.
아래 7달러. 7이라.
아.
올라서가게.
We don't move them. Turn them over or take them out of the water. This is their home when we want it. And then we're just touching our sea life really gently with one finger across the top so they've got short spine and now one tip sea urchins. Then quickly, if you touch them gently, as I said, just with our bird cells. The water, just on the top. Just put your hand back out here. Just over here on my left. Just to keep the water nice and clean and make sure the breakfast is in there. So it's really important we don't pick them up.
Feel cozy, yeah. Can you hold up? Don't need no coffee yet. Got no makeup. How do you look so fine? Plus up, plus up. How did I make you mine? Stay a minute, another minute. Hold on a second, I love this moment, yeah. Stay a minute, another minute. Hold on a second, I love this moment, yeah. Love when we take our time to make love. Promise you I'm not wasting time in the bathtub. We don't gotta rush now, never gonna rush now. My life's in a slow-mo, always in a slow-mo. I still show up on time. Stay a minute, another minute. Hold on a second, I love this moment, yeah. Stay a minute, another minute. Hold on a second, I love this moment, yeah. Stay a minute, another minute. Hold on a second, I love this moment, yeah. Stay a minute, another minute. Hold on a second, I love this moment, yeah. Me feeling loved, even though I hold us up. Let me know if you ever think that I am being too much. You got me feeling loved, even though I hold us up. Let me know if you ever think that I am being so. Just stay a minute, another minute. second, I love this moment, yeah. Just stay a minute, another minute. Hold on a second, I love this moment, yeah. Just stay a minute, another minute. Hold on a second, I love this moment, yeah. Just stay a minute, another minute. Hold on a second, I love this moment, yeah. Just stay a minute. Stay a minute. Stay a minute, another minute. Stay a minute, another minute. Stay a minute.
생각보다 오래 걸렸네. 이거 물어본 건 용기 내서 물어본 거고.
수출해야 돼. 진짜 너무 웃겨.
이거 어느 나라 거야? 엄마 있지.
아빠. 갈 수 있게 생기는. 아빠 이게 여기 소매도
이게 가능한가 봐.
글루텐 프리 좋다.
그렇게 할까? 좀 왔다 갔다 헤맸는데. 아 그때마다. 너도 하나 피자 줄 테니까 먹어봐.
너무 배고플 때 그러더라.
보통 배고플 때 그러더라고. 이런 데는 그래서 원래 와있어. 딩동댕. 우리 타는 버스 번호.
유품?
매달 만져봐.
이런 거는 사려도 이런 건 없잖아. 공작부터. 두 개잖아. 두 개잖아. 하나만.
서울대 가려면 시드니 대학교
있거든? 매운 걸 잘 먹어. 그런데
골라.